Hey to anybody who's watching. Just giving myself a second to make sure everything's up. I'm going to try and do simulcast again on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know that it matters. But for a variety of reasons, I've had a much bigger channel on YouTube. But yeah, so I think my plan generally for tonight, we're going to talk a lot about making chords, scales of chords, like all the important solo guitar stuff that I really haven't broached, and it's kind of like the real stuff, like the meat of the stuff I want to work on, right? I feel like I can generally get through a standard and kind of work my way through soloing eventually, like good or bad, you know. The stuff that I think is really important, and the stuff that's tough is making my instrument sound like you're not missing anything, right? Because on guitar, right, as I've done, in fact, in Blue Bossa, I can just oop, if I can play right, right, like so that type of stuff. But it'd be nice if I could put chords under it, even simple stuff like octaves. Right, that sounds nice. So, where I generally want to start with this type of stuff is starting from where we started before, right? So, back to the whole augmented concept, triads. Triads are really, really easy to work with on guitar, and why I've spent so much time talking about it. And it kind of comes back to this main trick here, right? So, I'm going to do a lot of my stuff tonight in D minor, just as a sample key. You can change this to major, but I want to improvise in D minor. That's like something I talked about a few things ago. Now, 1 second, let me make sure my YouTube is actually up. I'm hoping it's up. Really? 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. I might have to start again because my YouTube is definitely not up. Ooh. Check this over here. Make sure that I'm streaming out. Yeah, I'm streaming to restream, so it should be on both. Yeah, it says I'm streaming to both. What the hell? Boo. Let's see if I can get a link over here to YouTube. It's just not showing up in my manager. Yeah, it's definitely live. Okay. We are good. Maybe let's do this. Go live. Yeah, I want to manage this. It's so weird. Okay, it doesn't matter. If I get any amount of views on YouTube, I'll be happy. Anyways, back to what I was saying before. After that slight digression about just starting with chords, and I'm going to do D minor again. This whole augmented thing of stacking major thirds. Right, this is an augmented triad. You lower under. This is a major chord, and then the root is always the string down below, so the third is always the other string that you haven't done anything with. You get minor chords. And this, of course, is in first inversion because the root's up down. Or, again, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll use different terms. So for like solo guitar, chord melody, that type of stuff, I at least personally think the two most important voicings to know are chords that are structured with the root on top or on bottom. So usually in this type of triad stuff, you can form these pretty easily. And you can in fact find two different ways to get to the same thing, right? So let's start with D, right? We know D, either you go here or there's a D. In fact, I believe it is right here. And we're doing D natural minor. And if you know your scales, right? A scale is, of course, the root, third, and fifth, and I said it's going to be in that inversion with the root up top. So with this chord shape that I have right here, and again, if you don't know the minor scale shape, start on the fifth fret of the fifth string, major, minor, right? Interval, fourth, fifth, minor sixth, minor seventh, eighth. And again, back to something I said, it's probably most important to know the major scale because you can just change it. So for example, here's D major. And all you have to do is lower the seventh. You have to lower the sixth and lower the third. And you get a scale that's like this. Other scales that people know is Dorian, so you don't lower the sixth. You can raise both the sixth and the seventh. I think that's technically the the harmonic minor scale. I forget which one it is. You can get a more interesting sound if you lower the sixth but raise the seventh, so you get something that sounds like this. So, that's the basic idea of the scale. But once you know the scale, right, we know that the third is here, we know the fifth is here, and the root's here, and voila, you get the same shape. That's what I was saying before. That looks something like this, where it's, on this, the third and fourth string are parallel on the seventh, and then it's one fret down the neck below it, and you get this chord. So, what we can do is also take our scale idea. So this is D up here, and it's important to learn your scale forms. Again, I'm not gonna necessarily give that instruction. Work on it yourself. But you can take this, and let's say you want to play a scale up here, right? So we get two octaves of scales starting up here on the third string. Continuing the same pattern, you get something that sounds like this. But what we want to do is try and put chords underneath of it that are diatonic, so meaning from the scale. Now, which chords, right? Obviously, the first note should be minor, right? And you can figure this stuff out. Now, for the major scale, so the natural minor is actually formed from the sixth degree of the scale, and just pretending that's the one and moving up. So we're just going to do a simple trick here, and you can verify this, right? Chords are just think about moving in thirds of the scale and stacking two notes on top of it. That's actually what triads are, and just keep moving each of those notes up the scale. Or on the other hand, you can just know. You can work it out yourself and find that for the major scale, if you're stacking chords underneath of it, it has this pattern of major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major. It also matches in jazz, right? A 2-5-1, it's the 2 minor. Technically, if you're including the sevenths, the fifth should be a dominant seventh. The first and fourth should, I usually do them as major sevenths. I think you can technically do the 4 chord as a dominant seventh as well. That'll just introduce an E flat, so you'll get additional tensions if you do that. But usually you do a major chord for that thing to stay diatonic. And then the minor sevenths are, of course, true minor sevenths. And the diminished, you can do whatever you want there, as long as you have the B, D, F, and then maybe you had A, maybe you had A flat. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So anyways, that's the pattern for the major. It turns out, if we're talking about the natural minor scale, we start in the 6. So what pattern does that give us? Well, the 6, as we said before, was minor. The 7th was diminished. So you can do the same shape and just lower the 5th. You get a shape that looks like this. After that, it should be major. It turns out you just copy the shape of what you had before. So, rethinking our shape, I was playing it kind of in this traditional box shape. But instead, you can do the shape that looks like this. So, first two notes. Or you can do 2, 2, 3, 3, which is the way that I'm going to do it for this scale of chords idea. So, back to what I was saying before. The 1 is minor, 2 is diminished, 3 is major, and it turns out it's the same shape, just up a string. And then, what should 4 be? 4 should be minor, again reflecting the 2 in the major setup. It looks like this kind of shape. 5 is also major, is also minor. Okay, and then it's going to be major, major, minor. So that's the basic idea, you know. And this is stuff you can work out. And in fact, this is a lot of what I've been working on. I already know this kind of stuff, but just working out, thinking about the shapes. So you can just build it, you know, hypothetically at any point from what I just did, if I'm just messing around and I'm like, the exercise being play something and then end on a chord note. So if I just go a very simple adding chords underneath of it. Right, and as you do this more, you know, you'll get more familiarity. But that's kind of what we're practicing here. We're just trying to be able to add chords under, being able to do the scales, and really have a lot of familiarity with a single sound, let's call it, because, you know, it's not, I don't really want to use a mode. It's a sound, because we're not strictly set to the scale, right? So again, let's just play the scale up in its full thing, you know, just so you hear how it sounds. So you get something that sounds like this. Now that we have, you know, this moving up, you can do it in a ton of different ways. You can think about adding the sevenths, especially for jazz. You do the stuff that I was talking about before. So a cool thing to think about, and again, this is kind of like a playground. You can do whatever you want. Is for any chord, we can do the same tricks we said before, right? With the octaves in particular is what I'm talking about. So before we had this shape, what if we wanted to do all the inversions? Well, we can bring this down, you get this familiar shape. This is the chord we had before. We can rotate the octave up. So going down, you get a shape that's like this. But we can repeat it with all these new chords we just generated and get all the inversions really easily. So let's just do the 1 and 2. We just played the 1. Let's play this 2 diminished. And think about the shape we get. You get this kind of jagged shape. But I can tell you, you move the octave down, you get this. So you get 12, 10, 8, 9. And you can continue the pattern. You get something that looks like this. My hands will allow me to. And now we can start introducing ideas, and I put this in the description, I think, on YouTube, of like, you can see how easily this turns into other ideas in improvisation. And let's have a quick aside. One idea to think about is this idea of triad pairs, and you know, it's a very rich idea for improvisation. But again, like most things, let's boil it down to its most simple idea. Pick two triads that are, let's just do one step away from each other in the scale. And then pick a pattern from one of them and play the pattern on the other of them, including inversions, right? So let's just do this. This sounds nice. Let's just keep it as its triad and play one up and then the next up. So you get something that sounds like this. What if we add the octave thing that I was saying before, so you get a pattern of 4 that sounds like this? Alright, we can keep continuing that, right? We can just do patterns of 3 and switch between them, so you get... And of course, you know, that sounds melodically very interesting. And it has the additional benefit, right, that you choose any two triads like this. Well, generally, we're thinking about 7-note scales, but you're already getting 6 of them. And of course, from what I said before, we have these shapes. You kind of get a 2 notes per 2 notes per string scale if you think about it that way. Again, back to this. Just keeping it most simple, just keeping the triad notes, you get a scale that sounds like this. Oops. I'm wrong. If I can play the right notes, it's this. And if you want to start on D, for example, you get a scale that sounds like this. So you just created almost kind of like new pentatonics. And again, this stuff is very rich. You can do a ton of stuff here, you know, just kind of giving general ideas of, you know, what I've been thinking about, what I've been working on. And it just comes naturally. And it's so nice you can do this stuff because, you know, and you don't stop there. I just did the 1 and the 2. I would recommend maybe doing something like the 4 and the 5. So choose a chord tone and the triad that is formed from the chord tone. And then choose something that's not a chord tone next to it. So 5 and 6 is a good one. 3 and 4, 3 and 2. You get the idea. And generally, because it's formed from the chord tone, you'll get stuff where it's like one is kind of consonant with the chord and the other creates tension. And you can do really, really creative stuff there. So yeah, this is, you know, you can really work with this stuff. Now another thing about even these scalar chords, and it's a practice thing, is because once you get things in scales, you can do all the stuff you practice on scales with them. So, for example, what does the scale of chords sound like with thirds? Well, just move through thirds, right? So your top note should be moving in the thirds, and you have the chords under them. So you get something that sounds like this, where it's... So again, somewhat slow. Even I have to do the practice on this, but just even going through that in D minor, right? Again, we're not worried about anything else. We're just really interested in learning a key. And of course, on guitar, you can take this and, you know, it's really easy to move up and down. You know, you get everything, and it's not too bad to move down, right? And this is where, again, octaves become really nice. Because even if you want to move down the neck, or in effect you're going to move down a string when you're doing this, is if you have your shape, right, let's move this up, right, so we have, but let's just move it up to this pattern. we can use our octave rules. Let's just move down 2 strings, and you'll find a shape that looks like this. Oops. And you'll find this familiar shape. Again, using the either 3 frets down 2 strings or 2 frets down 2 strings rules. And you can continue the same thing as we just found out. It must ask, because of course we said this is D. Of course we're going to get this shape that's like the 2 back on 1 end. One second. And you get a whole new thing you can run up. So this way, you know, you have ways to move up and this way really quickly. Again, it's a very big playground. Hence why I'm talking about all this, and a lot of stuff to practice. You know, and if you do this stuff, you're going to get a lot more fluency. Not only on the fretboard, but being able to like, oh hey, here's all the stuff I can do. So let me give another exercise, not as necessarily related to chords, but something I've been working on. We can use the fact, for example, that we know that the 1st and 6th string are in 2 octaves. So the easiest way is, let's try and build our 2 octave scale, starting, you know, in a position that I think most people know. But the trick we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 octaves. So same fret, just on the 1st and 6th string. Our top finger is going to walk down the scale, and our bottom finger is going to go up the scale. So you get something that sounds like this. I'm losing my mind, but yeah, I did the pattern. I skipped a note. Oh man, how embarrassing. I was working so hard on this last night too. So it's... It's this. There we go. So you get something that looks like this. One more time, because I'm working it out in real time. So 2 octaves apart, and again, this is of course challenging for me, and really going to test your ability to know the scale. So that's what we got to work down. So. That's where it has to be this. I don't know. Anyways, I want to practice that more off stream because apparently I don't know it. But that's the idea. Man, I was working a lot of that last night, and apparently I forgot it overnight. So take something like this, where you have the same chord shape, some box shape. Start with the two octaves apart. Move one down, move one up. You'll create contrary motion all the way to the middle, and then reverse it. It sounds really nice because, of course, you're doing contrary motion. And then if you want to get fancy, another idea to think about is instead of thinking about this top shape as the usual box shape, think about it starting on a different hand or a different finger. So you get maybe... Man, I'm... Let's get the end on this. So I'm not doing it right. So anyways, oh, D's gotta be here. No wonder why I'm having trouble. Yeah, this is the shape. So, do the same exercise, but you're gonna have much larger hand stretches. So, that's a way to work on your hand stretches. And, oh boy, man, I am, man, I gotta practice that. Just because I was working on it a lot last night. Now, granted, I didn't do my usual, practice routine before then. So that's just me talking a lot about all the different ideas with chord melodies you can do. What I think I'm going to do, because I've been talking for almost a half an hour, is I'm going to take a real quick break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got my drink of water. Trying to get my amp out of the shot. If you don't know, I'm using a positive grid practice amp. What I think I'm going to do now is do my favorite, just because I find it funny. I'm going to switch over and do my music you can listen to portion to just freely improvise for a little bit as a warm-up. And then we'll go through at least all the songs I know, see what we can do. Anyways, here is your freeform jazz in D minor. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I still got to warm up a little bit more. Um, but what I think we should do now, I'm going to switch over for this too, is let's just work on playing It Could Happen to You. I should have that over here. And Autumn Leaves. It Could Happen to You. Alright, let's do what we've been doing the past few times. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play through this the whole melody is gonna be about 5 times. First time, I'm going to play along with the melody. 3 in between, I'm going to try and improvise. And the last one, we're going to play the melody. So. Give myself a little bit of lead time. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got to go back to my exercise I was doing before, where we're really trying to lean in on even on the ones and threes, really you know, the stuff that I was talking about before, where it's like, let's start from, let's just do 3 scale notes down from, root we're targeting. So for the third, right? So you get stuff that sounds like this, where it's. Even simpler, just half note melodies, right? So stuff like this where it's. You get really nice sounding stuff like that. No, that was just me messing around. And in fact, let's just do that. Let's do exactly what I said, but in time. And I think what was helpful for me before is explicitly saying the chord changes as I'm making it. And again, let's do ourselves a favor and really bring down the tempo. And, this is mostly just to keep myself honest, that you'll be able to see the chord changes as they come. E flat, C, F minor, D, E flat, A flat, C7, C7 again, F minor, E flat, G, C minor, C minor, F7, F minor 7, E flat, C7, F minor, D, E flat, A flat, C, F minor, B flat, E flat, A flat, C, F minor, B flat, E flat, C minor, F, B flat, E flat, C7, F minor, D, E flat, A flat, C, F minor, B flat, E flat, G, C minor, F7, F minor 7, B, E flat, C7, F minor, D, E flat, A flat, C7, F minor, B flat, E flat, A flat, C, F minor, B flat, E flat, C minor, F minor. So you get the idea, and that was actually really helpful for me. You hear really interesting lines and targets for you to make in lines, right? Because again, even starting with the most basic of. That's a nice octave, but it stays in the key, right? So you hit all the chord, all the stuff, right? So stuff like that. So that's the basic idea of doing the half note melodies, but make sure you really know the chords. And again, since I haven't done it on the stream in a while, it might be helpful. Bring it back up to, let's keep it as it is and just really play it through with the chords. And let's do this just to give me some time to set up. E flat, G minor, C, A, A flat, G diminish, F minor, B flat, E flat, D minor, G, C minor, C minor, F7, F minor, B flat, E flat, G, C, F minor, A, E flat, G, C, F minor, B flat, E flat, A flat, G, C, F minor. So again, I feel like I very much know the chords of the. I feel like I know this song, right? Like most things with improvisation, like that's the bigger hurdle, and having the feel and knowledge of the chords. And again, the biggest thing that's been helpful for me is being able to, come up with different tricks and different ideas. As a little break, let's play Autumn Leaves and just kind of mess around. In fact, at some point I should actually memorize the chord for Autumn Leaves, but at this point I don't think I don't know. Let's work through it maybe a little bit on stream, just to think about it. So, C minor. And an E flat, which I think I'm going to play up here, right? Because it's A, G, F, E. Oh, it's of course the fourth. Again, I feel C1, F, B flat, C1, S7, I should memorize this, but at least the A section I feel like I already have down, right? So it's C minor, F7, A, D7, 3, 4, C minor, F7, B flat, A or E flat. So let's see how far we can at 80 beats per minute. I should be able to just be able to play along pretty easily. Let's see. Minor 7 instead of F7. So yeah, I feel like I figured out the. I mean, again, at some point I actually got to memorize it, but the chords are much easier than it could happen to you. And again, this is going to be generally played at a medium tempo, anyways. But let's play with the melody. This happened before. It's like anytime the repeats are not quite right. So, again, just going through the melody. Yeah, I like Autumn Leaves a lot. I think it's. To be honest, I think that's more thematic and much better than anything I've been playing over It Could Happen to You. Now, granted, I'm not necessarily playing in time, but I think we can take a quick break. Not sure what we're going to do when we come back, but I haven't played the stuff that I usually play. But let's just play through everything. Let's just mess around. As I said with this, let's see where we're at with Autumn Leaves. Very similar to what I've been doing. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just do play through the melody once, solo over it once, melody once. We'll do the same thing with It Could Happen to You, and then we'll play Blue Bossa and My Thing of Misty. Yeah. All right, be right back. I am back. I might end up to just doing Twitch at some point. Just Twitch, not simulcasting, because it's so much harder to monitor. I don't know. Monitor the chat. What am I talking about? It's just the two chats is a bigger problem. Anyways. Autumn Leaves. Let's start with that. Then back to It Could Happen to You. And then we'll do Blue Bossa and Misty. And let's bring up the tempo, because I'm going to be bored out of my mind. I think we can probably play it at tempo. And then, as I said, it's going to be a little bit off because we're doing the repeat, because technically the pickup should be here. But we'll see. And I'll give myself some lead in. We're gonna do it live, I guess. Okay, I guess. Man, that is so annoying that it doesn't work quite right. Anyways, let's just play through the melody. I'm gonna try to only improvise for one time through, because I don't have this to work with. And in fact, you know what? Let's just play the melody in the background and improvise over it. I think that's a better idea. And really try and figure out why I can't get the repeat to work correctly. Actually, I'm trying to turn this into a 32 bar form when I think it's only 28. I forget. I think, did we do this before? That actually is. No, it's gotta be 32. Yeah. What? I don't know. I got it. I'll come up with a better way to do it. In fact, you know what we're gonna do instead? 1 second. I haven't done this quite yet. I'll add attribution to the description. Let's see if I just do iReal Pro. I just need the chords anyway. Autumn leaves. 3 times through. Okay, anyways. All right, that's the closest for autumn leaves until I can figure out how to fix some of this stuff. All right, let's mix it up. So we'll do It Could Happen to You right after this, and then, but I'm gonna mix in. I don't know. Let's see. Let's do Misty first. Cut on the string maybe. Oh, not the worst. Definitely not the best. Let's see. Let us now switch over to It Could Happen to You, and let's do it the other way. No, well, I'm not very confident It Could Happen to You. I know I'm good. Blue Boss is going to be competent enough, so let's end with that. Let's bring it back up to, and a sneeze, I think. 1 second. Ugh. Back up to 120. Do the thing we did before. Actually, you know what? Since we already used long tones, we can use them here. Let's just use the backing track. wasn't too bad. That was pretty good. That was better. That was better than the last time I did it. I think it's helpful hearing the long tones rather than the melody itself. I don't know. It was easier for me at least. Yeah, let's see. How long we've been going? Let's play Blue Bossa, and then we're gonna call it for the night. All right. If I can play the melody right. So that was Blue Bossa. Oh, man, my hands are tired. I feel like I still got to practice a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to end it off there. Sorry I didn't get to the person in YouTube chat. Anyways, hope everybody has a good start to their weekend. May or may not be on this weekend. But hope you all are having a good one, and I'll see you later.